Man, you come straight out of a comic.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Straight Out of a Comic Book. I am your host, Will Pharaoh, and we are back. If you see the shirt, you know what the fuck we talking about. And I'm finna do the most. I don't care if it's corny as fuck. I'm doing it because we talking X-Men. So in honor of the new show dropping, to me, my X-Men.
Hey, I ain't
Welcome,
gonna
my
hold you.
X-Men.
To me, my X-Men is such a hard call sign right now, bro.
Yes.
All right, I'm confused if Clint is talking to us or not.
I think Clint is on the phone.
I was like,
I was like,
My bad, man. My bad. My bad, y'all. I apologize.
It's all good.
He assembled like the X-Men on the phone. Yeah, I got y'all. One second. I'm gonna get you with Magneto real quick. Now, what y'all talking about?
My bad, y'all. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody, man. In case y'all don't know, man, I got fantastic Frankey with me, Clint, Coley, and young Deuces, and we are talking about the new continuation of the X-Men animated series, X-Men 97. 2 new episodes dropped, premiered, flawless in my opinion. And I want to jump into it. It because you already know I got questions. I want to hear from y'all because y'all have some of the best opinions on the internet. Personally to me. So I want to start off, of course, with the big elephant in the room. After 20 years of being treated like a bitch, Cyclops redeems himself in 28 minutes.
Let's go.
I think Cyclops was good in the original. I did a full rewatch last month.
Yeah,
Cyclops is that guy like the entire time. I think we were just young, and so I think we just thought Wolverine was so cool, and he is his like antagonist.
But the movies also, Frankie.
The movies.
The movies is what did it.
It's really terrible. The movies.
It's the movies that did it.
The newest one, what was that? The Phoenix one. He asked Storm to like put ice in his cup.
Yeah.
The movies. The movies, because before the movies, like Frank said, like in the comic books and in the original run, Cyclops is one of the coolest, if not the coolest X-Men. Like we fuck with them heavily. Mm-hmm. So when they pretty much MCU hulked him and turned him into what he was, it was just like, damn, bro. Like, and then it was just so much disrespect to Cyclops. So it's like to see him back, being the sarcastic, being the leader, having beastie moments, being extra and over the top. We forget this is a superhero show. So yeah. I'm not just doing the 3-point stand landing. We'll get to that. I ain't gonna say it, but I'm gonna do it extra with my powers. Like, bro, everything about his character in this comeback, I just felt so good to see his character get his love all over again.
And if you ask me, I think he got the line of the year. You know what I'm saying?
Would you want to give him the forecast?
That's the line of the year, man. I mean, no, you know what I mean? It's like, yo, here's my thing, right? And I'm not, I'm not as comic book savvy as the rest of y'all, right? But I know what I see on television. I know what I see in cartoons. I think what made me mad, the most mad about Cyclops in the movies is, when I was a young guy, I had a Cyclops toy. If I had your toy, I fucked with you. Right, I didn't get the toy if I didn't like you. You know what I'm saying? If I fuck with you heavy, I have your toy. This comic book. I don't gotta pause that. But if I have your toy, no bullshit. You know what I mean? Like I fuck with you, and I remember, I only had like 4 X-Men toys, and it was Cyclops, Wolverine, Sabretooth, and Juggernaut. You know what I'm saying? And for me, it was like, yo, dog, like I thought Cyclops was him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And to see in the movies, like, something as simple as I think in the X-Men 3, The Last Stand, he gets killed in the first, 5 minutes?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And we don't even get to see his death. You know what I'm saying? It's just, he just goes away. Then in X-Men Apocalypse, he's getting bullied in school. He's getting bullied in school.
Yeah,
what
man.
The fuck is this? He's getting bullied in school,
and he's Wolverine's height. Like that was the other thing that tripped me out. I'm like,
but that's because they cast Hugh Jackman,
right? Yeah,
who's 6'2". Like,
Right.
why are you already 6'2"?
I'm sorry. I know they was doing them when they were a little bit younger. There was a 6'3" actor that could have played that role. Okay. And they did not cast
Wolverine is supposed to be like 5'5". That's a bigger issue. Even if they did find someone who was 6'3", he's gonna look around the same height as Wolverine, and it's odd, and it removes a power dynamic between their relationship that I think is important because Wolverine's a hater. And like Hugh Jackman, you're like, you don't feel that hating. You know what I mean? Like, then you're like, yeah, of course Gene won it. Like, it changes the context of a lot of it. And I'm like, yeah, we losing a plot here because y'all cast this gorgeous Australian man to play him. I'm not saying Wolverine's not handsome, but he's not as handsome as Cyclops.
No, it's not. It's a dynamic. Yeah, it's a dynamic, like you said. And I think watching this again when it dropped, you felt that again. Because just like how Clint said, I had the toy. I had the one where you press a little thing on the side and the visor light up. Like Cyclops, like you, and to Frankie's point too, Cyclops was him during that cartoon, and you saw the difference of like Hugh Jackman is Mr. Steal Your Girl. I'm like, yeah, I could see him taking Jean from you. In the cartoon, it's just kind of like, hey, look, this little nigga trying to get it.
Just like Frank said, just like Frankie said, I went back and I was rewatching it before this came, and I ain't even gonna hold you. Me, who originally watched the original run, I got so used to the Hugh Jackman portrayal that I forgot how big of a hater Wolverine was. I was watching like, oh shit, I forgot about this whole
definitely a hater, bub.
Bro, that love triangle, it seemed like it was even playing grounds. It was like, oh, like back, like that's how I felt before I rewatched it. And when I rewatched, I'm like, oh no, it's not that. This nigga is really just a hater trying to impose on it.
You know what he is? Wolverine was our first sight into seeing the work husband. Wolverine was the first cartoon version of the work husband.
I'm not mad at that take.
He's definitely, I think that's an excellent, but the issue is he doesn't know he's a work husband. You know what I mean? Like Jean is treating him like a work husband, but he thinks that she's genuinely like interested. But like, sir, y'all live together.
Yeah,
she'll make it happen. Like, if she wanna do,
she wanted to fuck.
Rogue figured it out. Magneto was in the crib.
That's the best love triangle, if you ask me.
Oh
that's the best love triangle.
Yes,
I'm sick of seeing Jean Grey, Cyclops, and Wolverine. Show me somebody who's actually fucking.
Yeah, I will say that Jean has so much more personality.
Yeah.
And I hope as the season goes, now that it's clear that that's not Jean, that we keep that the same. You know what I mean? Like,
we'll talk about that later. But
no, sorry, but like I think that's something else. And I'm like, why y'all fighting over this chick that faint all the time? Like, what's so great about her? But then like in these
the bitch iron is low.
The bitch that's how we know which Jean is real, because the one with the iron, she came in immediately.
Iron is low, dog.
I said, there she go. There she go. There
she go fainting and shit.
This chick was out here working on Cerebral, like pregnant, making jokes, like calling people dumb. Like, I was like, this is Jean, like showing a relationship between her and Storm. I saw people like bring up like, why did she talk to Storm about this? I'm like, they're best friends.
And
you wouldn't know that.
Yeah, and I think that's what, like, even to your point of like with them being in the house, I feel like they really captured this more now of like, these people live together. These people fight together. These people are here all the time. Of course, she's going to see her as her sister. So why wouldn't she come to her about stuff like that? And then even outside, the last person you really have is the last two is either Rogue. And again, Rogue was, evil before she came over. So I can see why that connection may not foster like how she would with a Storm, or like Jubilee. Jubilee's a kid. Like, she's not going to go tell Jubilee this stuff.
Right. And Storm's a mother too.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's like something else.
Yeah, there's a new connection that she's about to have with her in regards to that. But can we bring it back real quick? Because I want to talk about how this show feels so 90s. And I was like, bro, like for it to be not X-Men 97 and to still capture and feel like the 90s, I thought that was so fucking dope. Like, you know what I'm saying? That was a really dope ass aesthetic into that.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. When I realized, man, I fucked up in watching X-Men on Wednesday. What I really need to start doing is watching X-Men on Saturdays with a bowl of cereal or some shit like that. Yeah, like we
can't wait that long though. Everybody's
I know.
Yeah.
It's like if they went 90s, why the fuck can I go 90s? You know what I'm saying? Like I need me a bowl of Apple Jacks or some Frosted Flakes or some shit like that. And I need to start. They need to release it on Saturdays.
They did. I ain't gonna lie. Disney, you kind of dropped the ball on that. You missed a good opportunity to be able to finally premiere something on a Saturday and have it. And then too, like y'all be setting times too. Y'all could have set that to come out Saturday morning, 8 a.m.
That would have been crazy. That would have been really dope. That definitely would have been really dope.
Yeah. But I want to start with the first episode. Oh my, go ahead, Deuce.
Well, I do. The last thing I want to talk about was the intro. That like how they edited the intro to include like all of the animated properties and like I'm liking where Marvel's going with this.
Do you like the music? I hear mixed reviews because it's clear they synthesized it a little bit more.
I mean,
and they put more drums in it.
Yeah, I like the
remaster.
Yeah.
People were like, I don't like it.
Like it's 2024. Like
all I need to hear. All I needed to hear was da-na-na-na-na-na-na. I'm good. That's it. That was it.
That's it. I wanted to hear that, and I wanted to see the running shit.
The running.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
That's all I need to see. The running. That's it. That's all I need to see, dog.
If you got to nitpick one thing about it, and it is very, very small, it don't even really much that matter. But if you want to be that nitpicking person, only thing I wish they wouldn't have took out was at the end when you hear Wolverine's claws come out and go, shoo. They kind of took that out. And I was like, I don't care though, because they moved it in for the 97 to pop out. So I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah.
And also it's to remind us this is an ensemble. It's not about Wolverine.
Yeah,
it's definitely not about Wolverine. And then last thing with the music, I'm not gonna lie, y'all. When it came on, I got chills.
Man,
I got chills when it came on. Man, when I turned on the first episode, I got chills when they were fighting to the music. I got chills when it first came on. I got chills, man. I got chills.
I say that's the first Marvel property. That's probably the first Marvel property.
Winning us back.
Skipped intro. You're winning us back. Yeah. First Marvel intro, I did not skip. I was like, skip intro, did not do it.
That is
they just posted on Marvel's page skip intro for what? And like played the theme again. Like, no skipping the intro.
They should put repeat intro instead. Like, you want to go back?
You hear that, Disney? You hear that, Disney? Run it back one more time? Yes or no?
Like, you know what? Yeah, let me. And intro. Like, let me hear that second verse.
Yo, that'd be fire to have a second. Oh, you know what? No. Let's keep on top. Let's keep on top. Episode 1 to Me, My X-Men. So I don't know if it was just y'all. I watched it back. Like I've watched it like 4 times since it's come out.
Oh yeah.
Like Deuce said, this feels like the 90s. And for some reason, I was like, maybe it's just me. It played, the first 10 minutes played like a live action film, like how they reintroduced everyone to come in and stuff like that. I was just like, yo, this no different if this was like a live action. That's how a live action version of this would start.
Oh yeah,
I'm the only one that's up there.
Yeah, I say the structure of it, where is that grandiose intro of everybody. Yeah, I feel you on that. And you know, it's funny because it also matched a lot of the same beats of the original, right? You know what I'm saying? With that being fresh in my head, seeing how they introduced the X-Men in that first episode in the original, they kind of like matched that same beat and matched them vibes. I thought that was pretty dope too.
Yeah. Now, Frankey, so I know you have a very strong opinion about this group that the X-Men are fighting, which is the FOH.
Fuck out of here.
Fuck out of here.
but how do you feel about like how they started with moving about this, especially like, you know, for those that don't know, this is a spoiler if you haven't seen the original X-Men. You know, Charles Xavier is no longer with us and everything. Appreciate it. And so you know, a couple of maybe months or like maybe a year or so has passed. Mutants are now having a more sympathy toward from humans as to being around. But of course, you know, we still got the people trying to do crazy shit. And then to start it off with human trafficking is crazy.
But it's on par for the show. And I thought it was a direct callback to like the premiere, the initial series premiere, and season 1 and 2 together. Like season 1 is Sentinels. You know what I mean? Jubilee's parents puts her on the registration list, and we're seeing that. And in season 2, that's where we're introduced to Friends of Humanity for something similar, right? The president is spared, and he's like, yo, these are people, like I'm gonna pass laws to make sure they're protected. And that's where this hate group is formed. And it's very interesting to see, like, just to see them bring that back and kind of have a callback and have like 2 of these huge themes combined together. Because once we get to like season 3 and 4 and 5, it definitely becomes more like fantastical and like galactic level. But the first 2 are very grounded, and I think that's where they were going. It was really hard to see Sunspot be so like anti, like I'm one of the good ones type rhetoric, and just compare that to Jubilee, who in the same breath was about to get captured and things. And instead she was just confused. She was like, why me? What's going on? Not like, fuck those mutants. I'm not one of them. Like,
that ain't me, dog.
Yo, why you don't see me?
I don't even think I got powers like that, man. I don't know why y'all kidding me. I thought y'all just got me because I was rich. I'm like, oh wow. It's like,
yeah. He really tried it. Like, they don't got the tech. They're like, Cat. We know.
we know. Like, don't be acting like that.
Yeah.
But I want to know, how did y'all feel about the opening scene of like the first set of X-Men coming in, from like Storm's intro, Cable's intro, and Cyclops just coming in MVPing in the first 10 minutes?
I thought it was badass, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because there was a few things that I was looking for. I was like, one, make sure y'all doing my girl Storm right. You know what I'm saying? And her, both, anytime that she got like her intros and everything was fire. And again, like you said, I was looking for, all right, what type of X-Men are we going to get? And right off the bat with this intro, I understood, oh, all right, this is the badass X-Men. We're not going through the woes of we got to figure them out again. They got to accept their powers or anything. Like, no, this is a true continuation. And yes, this is a badass intro for them. You know what I'm saying? And so I thought it was dope as fuck.
All right, Clint, what about you?
I'm gonna say this. I was impressed. So here's what I noticed, right? And I think that this is something, I'm speaking to the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe, right? I think Kevin Feige heard the chatter. You know what I mean? I know Kevin Feige knows what's going on. I know that he knows that we have not been happy or satisfied in since Black Panther 2, or somewhere of the sort.
Galaxy.
Yeah. Okay. So and then I liked Loki, you know what I'm saying? But for the most part, they have not been, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, if you don't get this right, you know what I'm saying, then you're really going to get an uproar, you know what I'm saying? And you know how, also know Kevin Feige is he's very attached to the X-Men, because I believe that was the first Marvel project he worked on, back in 2000 or whatever, right? So I say that to say, you can tell that they were very, very, very adamant about, let's get this right. And that's why with the intros in the first 10 minutes and everybody, getting they shine and stuff like that, I think that was very important, and it's evident. That's what I'm saying. Like, I saw it. I see, like, they're making it important to them, which means it's going to be important to us. And I think they follow the episode name is to me, My X-Men, right? I think they take that title and make that's personal. That's personal, because that's everybody's X-Men. You know what I'm saying? That's your X-Men and your X-Men and that's our X-Men. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like in the first 10 minutes, yes, he did a great job with that, for sure.
Okay.
So that I'm really more so speaking to the broader scope of the show versus just like their intros itself.
Gotcha. Okay, so Frankie, I'm gonna ask you. So we'll get it. Like I said, we're still sticking to the first episode right now. And one thing I like to do on the show is we like to do the good, the bad, and the what the fuck. So for the episode, this will be the next segment. Give me your highlights that were the good in the first episode.
I thought they did Bishop a lot of justice.
Mm-hmm.
Like just seeing him like absorb powers. I'm glad they gave him high top fade and the sponge. Got that
Yes,
kid out. He
yes,
been in he been in the 90s. They
yeah,
said get that
yeah.
kid out, please. I loved Storm. And I like down to like her having to be away from the team while they were fighting for her to use her powers, and waiting for them to get covered, and just like the Sentinels being like, "Oh, there's an Omega mutant like in our presence."
Man.
I really enjoyed that. That like she got her due. They're showing her she's darker. Um, I loved I loved the relationship between Storm and Jean, and like that getting shine and us getting to see that. Cyclops doing like all the Cyclops scenes to me were cool. Him making corny not jokes like, oh, I surrender not. And I was like, yeah, that's him. That's
Yep,
him. Like who
that's
else?
him. That's him.
And I enjoyed that club scene. I love seeing Jubilee embrace herself publicly.
Yeah,
And
that was fire.
Yeah, I don't know why this got me. When she did this, I was like, yo, for some reason it was dope.
That's so her. And not to say she wasn't proud in the way that, like, you know, Sunspot is Roberto is ashamed, but she was scared. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Yeah.
for her to like publicly display that is like such a bold move for her, and her also signaling to him like it's okay to be yourself. And then even that scene where like Rogue and Gambit are flirting, it's palpable and I feel it. And like seeing the like colors dance on his eyes and like be in that moment, I'm like, this is I mean, I gave it 5 flames. I thought the show, there's no bad or ugly for me. Like
Yeah.
it was very well done.
They hit the points on the small details too, because you know, like when you think about like where they was at in the original and the budget that they had and the things that the capabilities that they had of the things to do versus now where you can put that, you know, you can see, you know what I'm saying, Scott's eyes through his visors a little bit, you know what I'm saying, like that. Like you can see how Cyclops, instead of just only full on blasting, he's doing combos with his blast, you know what I'm saying, where he's hitting your leg and then hitting you, like he's like, you know what I'm saying, you've seen like you know, like those moments of Jubilee's powers really flourishing in that moment, and how it like it looks like that animation was a little bit different from the show's animation, but they did that intentionally to kind of showcase the skill set of her powers. I like the liberties and the small details that they're taking with this show already.
Yeah. Clint, what about you?
The good, the bad, the ugly.
I
don't have nothing. I don't really, you know, I don't have a what the fuck, you know. I think I already said my good, which was, you know, more so is more so on the production side and more so of you know what Kevin Feige and all of them are doing over there at Marvel. The bad, man, Gambit, my favorite X-Men, dog.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, man.
That's my favorite X-Men, man. Come on, man.
That's more of a personal bad. It's just more of a how y'all gonna do my boy?
so bro, come
man. Like, come on, dog. He Creole. Like, come on, man.
Oh yeah, I was.
Man. Stop doing my man like that, man.
My man, fire, man. He lost his accent a little bit. Like,
no, I think that was needed. Y'all telling me his accent? You from New Orleans? You thought his accent was fire in the original?
No, go get somebody from New Orleans. That does it. Go get a motherfucker.
So here's my thing. Like, so you should have just laying it on thick. Like, just because again, too, it's one of those like, I'm not mad if you do it. Because again, they're very like this thing is very dramatic. It's a very dramatic type of talking. The conversation is very dramatic. How Storm talks, like I have never seen no woman talk like that in regular life, like how she talks. So it's just like I didn't mind it being so laid on and thick and stuff like that. But it felt like Gambit is from. Yeah, it's like
there are moments you're like, this is a serious moment. Like, let me be in this moment, and then Gambit starts talking. You're like, what the? You're like,
I think he had he said somebody's like, yeah, you can't use your powers, and then he was like, yeah, you can use your other powers, and nigga got his shirt off. Like, why is he so horny? You know what I mean? Why is he so? He's horny as shit. Man. I want to put some respect on my man Gambit name, dog.
And what was with the crop top? What was with the crop top?
That's the 90s.
That's very Gambit.
That was the 90s.
Is it?
Gambit. That's not the 90s.
I will pull up his
Wait. White Man Can't Jump was 90s, wasn't it?
I agree with Frankie. That is Gambit.
Okay.
That's not the 90s though.
Wait, White Man Can't Jump was 90s, wasn't it?
That was the early 90s. There's two different sections of the 90s. Let's be real.
And we in 97 now.
Dog. 97 niggas wasn't wearing crop tops.
Y'all right.
So that was just my thing. I was like, it just threw me up. I guess too, like I never seen it on the show.
Can I share my screen? Hold on. I'm gonna show you some of these fits.
Show me, please.
This
I was like,
Gambit. Let me hold on, present. This was Gambit.
Maybe Gambit's fashion style is just stuck in early 90s.
This is his recent fashion.
That's what I say. His fashion style is stuck in that early 90s. Oh,
that's how he dressed.
Okay.
He just want to get his chest out.
This is how he dressed. He's bisexual. His colors are
wild.
the bisexual flag.
They found the right in the middle then, because I remember like the original when they had him in the kitchen with the little plaid shirt. I was like, that don't look, striped shirt. That don't look like Gambit. And then this one, I was just like.
Also, Jackie Chan wore crop tops. If you could whoop someone's ass, you wear whatever the fuck you want.
I give you that, yeah.
I guarantee you, Gambit's gonna have a fishnet shirt on at some point in this season.
Prince wore a crop top.
Probably.
If you get bitches, you get bitches.
That shit just threw me off. That shit just threw me off. I wasn't ready for that one.
And I'm like,
say that one more time. If you get bitches, you get bitches.
But
don't
men
matter.
just get so upset. They're like, this is supposed to be a ladies' man, and it be straight men like really upset. Like, why is this and that? I'm like, we don't care. The ladies don't care. Gambit is still getting it. So clearly, we gonna switch our crop top, and we gonna go out our way. You know, like it's fine. And it's very much him. He's playing boy.
Yeah, I think it was just I think like you said, just year wise, like Clint said, I'm just like, yo, this is not like this was 87. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. I'm like,
I felt that way about Rogue. It was clear the actress she's like in her 60s, she's close to 70, and I could hear it. And I was like, this does not sound like a 20-year-old woman. And I was like, don't be ageist. The woman got to work. And if we replaced her, it would have been a whole thing. You know what I mean? But there were definitely times I was like, why Rogue sounds so tired?
She did. Yo, it sounded like she just got off of work every time she started talking. It was just like
she just smoked a little. Like she was
it was like it sounds the same, but it don't sound the same. I was just like,
Hey man, okay. Hey man, life. Yeah. It's been damn near 30 years.
Give me 1 second, y'all.
All right.
That's what I'm saying. It's been 30 years. Maybe replace her. But that's hard. That's hard to hear. And what's her name? Just as old. The actress who plays Storm, just as old. She got it together.
Yeah, she got it together. That didn't, if anything, it improved. It improved from the original. But I don't mind replacements either, especially after seeing like Rick and Morty and like seeing them replace those voice actors. Like watching the last season, I didn't really hear the difference. So it's just like if you could capture the character and it's a replacement, like let it happen.
They replaced Cyclops. The original actor passed away.
Yeah.
And I thought it was almost a bar for bar. Ray Chase is incredible. It was almost bar for bar, the same guy, with the same like kind of energy. And I agree. Like if you do it well, I know there's some controversy like when it happens. I remember there was one with Yurichi from Bleach. They replaced her with a black woman.
Yeah.
And,
oh my god! Remember we was in the thing. Man, that got crazy.
Same thing with Darth Vader when they changed out James Earl Jones and they I forget who they got to replace him, but it's like you couldn't tell the difference.
Yeah, well, that's because also they realized James Earl Jones sounds old now. Mm-hmm. And so like Darth Vader is supposed to be 30 and he's like and I'm like, all right, let the man retire, put him on a yacht, let him enjoy his life.
Let him go enjoy his life, man.
Yeah.
But it's crazy that's our only like our bad things about it, because that's just how good these first 2 episodes were.
Right.
We're nitpicking.
Yeah, we nitpicking.
Like I said, like Clint talked about earlier, but that fight scene.
Man.
Bro, it just felt so good to see the X-Men whoop ass again, bro. Like, you just got to think, for like a lot of the superhero things that we get, especially the shows, it's a long, drawn-out process. Maybe episode 3, you get a big major fight. Maybe episode 6, you get the final major fight, right? So to be able to, and remember the medium of cartoons, where the cartoon episode era and how cartoons are usually made, you're going to get a major fight majority of the time, so many times, right? You're going to get that moment where somebody's doing some badass action. So once like I said, the intro to the fight, when they came down, the whole landing and everything was so fire. And then hearing the music and just seeing everybody collab and do combination, like, bro, it was Saturday morning geek. I was geek.
But can we rewind to that part? Like, while they're on their way there, well, not matter of fact, let's go back just a little bit more. Like the dynamic that has changed with them and stuff. The part like even when they had to go visit the dude that killed Professor X, and just seeing like how Cyclops does it a little different than Professor X, because like Professor X would have just been like, he would have gave this great speech that would have most likely like either had the dude trip up or convince him like, you know what, yeah, you're right, I should have stopped this. Cyclops said, man, fuck all that shit. Gene, do your shit.
Wait,
do your shit.
I know Clint can have an appreciation for that scene as well, because it's like, bro, when you know that your girl is a badass that can whoop ass or something, just to be able to be like, hey, nigga, hey, don't let me call my wife. You know that meme where they be like, get you a black woman, because if the waiter fuck up something, you got your like. He gave off that energy, like, hey,
I thought of when he's like, I'm not gonna put hands on you, but I'm not the only one with hands. You don't know if your fiance can fight. You shouldn't figure it out though. I don't
know if my fiance can fight, man. I ain't even gonna hold you, dog. Like, she from the projects, but I don't know what her record is.
She can fight. It's like she's an X-Men. It got to be at that point of where it's real bad, where it activate, and that's where our powers kick in. That's what that is. Don't test it though, like Frankey said. Don't put on that.
I mean, I'm not. No. I just want to see if one day we in public and some chick get out of pocket, I would just look over and be like, see what you do.
She may not care. She may not care. She gonna be like, why is it bothering you?
But that also bigs up Cyclops' leadership skills, because right at that point, that's the second time that he has called an X-Men to do their thing, right? And it shows like, oh, I know my people's powers. I know how to utilize them. I know, and you know what I'm saying? And that's another thing. Establishing Cyclops as an effective leader, especially going through this turmoil, knowing that what he's going to have to deal with Magneto and everything, and knowing the weight that he's put on his shoulder, you know, because Professor Xavier has passed. I was just like, I'm loving how they're positioning Cyclops in this series, because they're bringing him back to his glory days.
But he's always been like that. Yeah, he's always been like that. And I think that's my favorite thing about the X-Men. It reminds me of Jujutsu Kaisen, where like it's like, where no one's fighting alone. If you fight alone, you got caught or captured, and even then, it's we're pulling up to come get you. Beast was in jail for like 12 hours before they came to break him out, and he was like, nah, leave me here.
Yeah, he volunteered.
But like, they all know their powers very well, and they trust each other's powers, and you see that trust especially in that fight on there, in the way that they're fighting, right? Like, Beast trips the Sentinel, rewires it, and jumps in it. So he uses his strength, his intelligence, and then starts to use it as a mech, and no one attacks that Sentinel. You get what I'm saying? Like, in the flurry of everything, no one confuses Beast Sentinel for any of the other ones, and they're just very open. There's in the beginning of this Phoenix saga, they bring Jubilee, and they don't often bring Jubilee. That's something else. People are like, I made a video about them not being child soldiers, and they're like, what about Jubilee? I'm like, that bitch is never there. They don't like, she be speaking. It's like, they don't want her there. And the one time they brought her was for the Phoenix saga. They snuck onto like the NASA house, and they knew they were going to trip the alarm, and once they did, Cyclops was like, you need to get caught, that's why we brought you, so that we can continue this reconnaissance. And they think they caught whoever tripped the alarm, so they went there with the thought of, we're leaving you here on Earth, and your team, they're just going to send you home, and they did. But I've loved that people are seeing it. It's hard to see people call him a cop, So I'm glad he's getting his just due.
No, it changed with this one. Like, just like you said, like the strategies of how it was set throughout the episode, even like you say to your point with Jubilee, the only time she was even involved in the first episode, mission-wise, was to go get Roberto from the club. So it was, like you said, it was a reconnaissance mission. It wasn't a fight. It wasn't a battle. That's where they knew they needed to have her at. And even how he, like, I love the dynamics of, like, who he knows to place them with. Like, we know Morph will always want to be with Wolverine. They're always tethered together. So you always see those two with each other. Even with Gambit, we know Gambit is kind of like, you know, like he's one of the bad boys too, so he sticks with them. We got Storm in the background. That's our ace in the hole when we ready. And then you have Rogue, of course. Rogue is always the one that goes in, kind of does her own thing because of her powers and stuff, or even how he puts them with certain stuff. Like when he went to go talk with the folks, he brought Bishop because he know Bishop is a little more diplomatic. He's not as hot-headed. And then he brought the fighters over there to go get old boy. And so it's just like, I love seeing those strategies, even when he fought the Sentinels and stuff, to show like, yo, this dude is a leader. And it's like, yo, I'm so glad that he's getting this reputation. And it made me think of one thing, too. The more I saw this and went and watched the cartoon, why are Sentinels dangerous? Because they be whooping these Sentinels' asses.
Well, they're supposed to, like, be able to read and adapt to what you have. And then, like, in the comics, there are different reasons why they're dangerous, right? Like there's a version that Tony Stark makes that are super dangerous. Some of them have beams, which we kind of see now, which we saw in the second episode, that can like strip your powers. But they're very strong. The X-Men is an ops team of some of the strongest mutants on the planet, right?
That's the biggest part of it, right? Like it's like they have stuff to stop Magneto, right? But he's still either the strongest or top 3 strongest X-Men, period, right? So it's like, you can have plastic all you want. I can summon some metal from 38 miles down the road and shut you the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? So I get that. I get that a lot.
And then also remember, X-Men, like we're looking at the elite take down the one of the biggest threats that they've been fighting for if we're doing each year a season for 4 years now. You know what I'm saying? They had 4 seasons before here where when the Sentinels first came, the Sentinels was fucking up the X-Men. It was like, oh shit, what is this? And people was getting their hands on the tech, and it was a game changer. But then after a while, remember the way that the original series, Master Morph they defeated Master Morph. So with them bringing back the zombie Sentinels, it's like, all right, y'all a nuisance, but we already we got y'all at y'all best already, and we beat y'all. So you know what I'm saying? Let's go, because like even you see how fast like Master Morph was a big plot line in the original, and then for Wolverine to be like, man, bro, like Wolverine stood on business ASAP. Soon as Master Morph stood up, Wolverine was like, fuck that. Hey, right, let's go.
I need combos like that I need combos like that the whole season. Having the claws come out, Gambit touch. I was like, yo, y'all got to give me that for all of them. All of them got to have different dope shit.
Using like Morph's belly to jump, bro. Like, no, it was just.
I shout out to love Morph. Yeah.
Morph is so dope.
Morph was like a big part of Wolverine's story throughout the series, which is crazy. He's not really in any of the films or anything. But like they're so tethered, and you really get to see that his fun. Like he was making jokes before, but they were like corny. Like now that guy is wild. That boy dressed up like Professor X. I was like, this is wild
talking
boy.
Shit. Yeah.
When bro, and the funny, it's the relationship, like you said, between him and Wolverine. Because even when he does the Jean Grey, it's like, bro, you see me in turmoil right now. Why would you do this? And then
that gave no fucks. You're like, oh, I'm in a perfect relationship with a perfect baby coming, and I don't like this guy that is in love with me. But I just love that because it's like everyone else, like you saw, like when he first made his appearance in the Danger Room in the first episode, you see how people fear him and how Morph is just really just like, nah, bro, I see you for what you are. And it's not a bad thing. Like, yo, we buddies. I know when you hurting and I know you don't like to talk. So I'm going to talk my shit so you can kind of laugh and be able to go, okay, I see you pointing stuff.
And see how ridiculous you are too. That's what friends do. They're like, this is cap, like relax.
Yeah. Morph is best friends with the shooter. Everybody has that one where the shooter, it's like everybody fear the shooter, but you like, what? You talking about Big Head over there?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You talking about Nappy Fro? Like, no, that's my guy.
My friend, Black Gay Comic Geek, feels like, especially that scene where
I know
Sabretooth, that they like have a relationship, or it's something a little bit deeper than friendship, and it's hard to, it's not, I definitely think, I always read it as platonic. Like even him searching for Morph and trying to bring him back to the team really felt like guilt to me. But I definitely, especially that scene where like he tackles him in the grass, it reminded me of The Lion King, like when Nyla and Simba are fighting and they're rolling around
on the face.
Like,
can you feel
I think though,
I call it the bromance. You know what I'm saying? You got to think. Again, either way it goes, it works for me. But it was just more so like I was thinking, like I said, I was in the whole mindset of the 90s of this whole show. And you remember how they used to show that bromance in 90s, that roughhousing and everything like that. That's what I kind of equated it to more.
And they trauma bonded too. So both of these cats have known what it's like to like have their powers exploited, to have people like mess with their minds and stuff like that. So it's also so it's also too a real big trauma bond. But then even seeing like the scene like you were talking about, it reminded me of, y'all remember that show Scrubs with
with
that's who it reminded me of. It reminded me of them and stuff. Like it was a bromance, and it's just like you'd be like,
exactly. It's a very homoerotic bromance, right? And then also very homoerotic.
but they shit never happened. It's like, okay, well, both of y'all married and got kids.
Like I said, back to what I said, they used to do that. They used to do that a lot in the 90s. There used to be a lot of what was the Top Gun? Well, it was
Top Gun.
Huh?
Yes, it was Top Gun.
Yeah,
exactly. Top Gun. But the difference is like, the head writer is Bo DeMaio.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like Bo DeMaio's gay. So he's not scared. And I mean, if I'm Logan, 200 years old, I gotta try something strange a little. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm
he ain't even 20. How old? He how old? Logan been living for however?
Well, hold on. Which version? That's the thing. Which version is this one? Is this the Mesopotamian one?
This version, I think he's 150 years old.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is not the Mesopotamian version.
Nah.
Because there's one where he's like he was born in the Mesopotamian area.
No.
I think this is like this is the 100. So hey, he gonna try something. Fuck it, he Wolverine, right?
YOLO. Just y'all be ready, especially now. Morph is a non-binary.
Yeah.
And I mean, technically too, like let's keep it real. Like the dude can morph and have a vagina, so it's just kind of like
whatever. But
all right.
Clint, grow up. Grow up, Clint. People be gay. People be gay, Clint. Grow up. But I
know. But it's like he said he could morph and have a vagina. Like, all right.
He do, and he gets that powers.
Let him do what he do.
All right.
Let him do it.
Hey, listen. You know what? Hey,
you wouldn't say nothing.
You wouldn't say nothing when Mystique does it. Like, can Mystique grow a dick?
That's a great question.
Do whatever she wants.
There you go.
But I mean, Mystique. We'll see how Mystique is. I think they're handling Morph in the way that I'm hoping that they handle Mystique, especially with his identity overall, like his connection to Sinister and the mind control, and like I'm sorry, I really like that they are pushing to them being like, I don't know what I am, who I am, and like I'm trying to figure it out. And you see that a little bit, and you'll see more. I saw the next episode as well. You'll start to see that like Morph is always thinking about their effects on the team, and like if they're always second guessing, like I hope I'm over this. I hope I'm over all of this, and that's a big thing for them to get over.
which is cool that they throw that in the intro too, especially like showing Morph's side where you do see like the eyes going, you see Sinister right there.
Yeah,
like,
because like I said, for those who didn't know, we got to tell them about the backstory because that Morph, when he in the original one, Morph he was supposedly killed, and then he became damn near one of the biggest threats to the X-Men. He hated them because he felt like they abandoned him because, you know what I'm saying, and technically they did abandon him. So it's like when you get that backstory of who Morph is and then seeing him now, it's just like, it adds so many layers. And like Frankey said, like I do hope that this is what they're showing us is a continuous trend on how they treat his character throughout the whole series and his character arc, and then how they get into Mystique's character arc as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I also like the Easter eggs that they threw in there too, just like the portrait of the first class and stuff in Charles' office and stuff. And I was like, oh, I thought that was so cool. And then even to get to the end and like now moving into the second episode and learning that Magneto owns all this shit now.
Yeah, and then we got to wait before he get it. Even how he dropped the line. I don't know if it's just how he talks or if it was supposed to be Sinister, but to me, my X-Men sounded so like, yeah, nigga.
everything, his wealth, everything he built now belongs to me. And I was like, y'all in trouble.
Charles is so messy for that. You know what I mean?
Charles petty as fuck for that.
All of it, and I felt for a Cyclops, and I think we get to see that more in the next episode where that really throws off Cyclops, and we see that in the original show where he works so hard to be the leader, he second guesses himself, and he does all the groundwork, and you let your ex pull up in here, the terrorists, and take all of your assets.
So here's my thing though with that, and this is why I was like, because especially moving into the second episode, Mutant Liberation begins.
Yeah,
you are a good leader for the team, so you're a good lieutenant or general. But we all know there's someone above the general that runs the whole shit, and I don't think Cyclops is fit to be that person. I think you're great. I think Cyclops is if you think about it, like Cyclops is great to lead the team to fight against all this stuff, but to be someone who is housing people, bringing in folks, bringing the face of this, being able to handle all the aspect of what the whole mutant agenda is, that's a lot to put on Cyclops' shoulders.
But Cyclops Magneto's better, and Cyclops wants it. And
that's where the pettiness come in. But that's how you beat your enemy, though. That's why I say that's how you beat your enemy. You know we're friends, and so I'm gonna leave you everything, and you know what I'm trying to do. So I'm gonna bound you to something you can't get out of.
So is it Scott's fault for not being a good leader, or is Professor Xavier's fault for not teaching him and prepping him for his exit? Like, bro, this is what I started seeing. It started making me feel like Succession all over again. Like this is comic book Succession, bro. Like Professor Xavier looking funny in the life of this one for me, bro. I ain't gonna hold you.
I disagree with that. I think that sometimes it's not about what's the best decision for that person. It's about what's the best decision for the team. And let's be real, right? Like Magneto, not only is he a more powerful X-Men than Cyclops, let's be real. Magneto has the experience. He's led another team in the whole other, you know what I'm saying? Like Magneto to me, and you got to remember, Charles and Magneto are best friends.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, best friends.
They're not best friends anymore, though. They're enemies.
But it's like that's still.
I mean, that's but it's
like splitting hairs. They're splitting hairs.
No, that's not splitting hairs. You telling me if Will starts blowing up things and you're like, Will, I do not bang with you killing all these people.
I still see the good in him.
But he knows my reasoning, and he knows my reasoning as to why I'm doing it. Your
reasonings are moot when you're murdering a bunch of people, and then my team. Not just that, but like Magneto has done some terrible things to the X-Men as well. So you're also saying I know he traumatized all y'all, but y'all gonna have to listen to him. And like I disagree. I think that Cyclops was the perfect person to take his role, especially with Jean being pregnant. Like, the two of them should have left and been, instead of leaving, they could have stayed home, because Charles was staying his happy ass home, most of them. I don't think you need to be a powerful mutant to be the head of the X-Men. And I think tactically he knows how to do it. He knows how to compartmentalize, and there are enough strong mutants to push him out, and to bring in the trauma of Magneto. Like,
that Magneto,
but hold on. That's been toxic though. Gambit, villain, brought him in.
No,
Rogue,
but like
villain, brought him in. Yeah.
Neither one of them are leading the team. And even still, first of all, they just started rocking with Gambit. Whole time they was like, "Fuck you, Gambit," and Gambit tried to leave multiple times because it took a while for them to trust Gambit. Rogue was manipulated in a different way.
Yeah.
Magneto was the leader.
Wolverine was an asshole.
But these are all people who were manipulated into these situations. Magneto is the manipulator who is leading these charges. He said, "What y'all doing? Y'all trying to kill with me?" This is like episode 4 of the series. He said, "Y'all trying to kill with me?" They said, "Nah." He went to kill him immediately. Like, this is a different, and like almost succeeded. And like,
but Frankey, to Will's point though, I get what you're saying. Like, they are definitely enemies, but the way that they wrote Charles trying to convince Magneto so much that there was good in him. So like, I get why people still call them best friends. It's kind of more so like Magneto was like, "Nah, I'm on this shit," and us on the outside like, "Yo, Magneto's fucked up," and Charles was that one person that was that abused person that was like, nah, he's still good, And so the way that they wrote him like he still harbored that friendship, and he looked past all the evil shit.
Friendship is the wrong word. I think it's love, like platonic love, whatever. I think it's love. Like, my sister, if she was a terrorist, I'd still love her and still would want I would still do everything to make sure that my sister would do whatever she, would turn for the better, but I still wouldn't call her my friend. She not my friend. I'm not trying to hang with her. Like, you don't see them going to the bar chilling. You know what I mean?
Not address each other as old friend?
Yeah, old.
Hey,
old friend.
My oldest friend.
Hello, old friend.
They talk about old friend. That's some rapper type talk. Like,
I think right now we're arguing schematics. We're arguing right now right now we're arguing the actual perception versus what Charles sees.
Because at the end of the day, it's like both of y'all have the same type of goal you want. You want mutants to be able to be at peace and thrive. Both of them, though, have their pros and cons about it. Magneto kills people. Professor X acted like a bitch sometimes and lost people because he did that. So there's always a tit for tat, but it's always a tit for tat with it. It's like, again, it's like, like how they compare him to Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. It's like which side you're just deciding to choose and just stuff like that, to where there is still some understanding. Is it wrong of what Magneto was doing? Yes, but his cause for doing it, just like how they show in the second episode what he was saying. I didn't just do this for the sake of doing this. You built the Sentinels. You started putting collars on us. Yeah. You're the ones that treated us different. I merely sat here to protect themselves, and I didn't sit here with a protest sign waiting for y'all to get it. It was like, no, I can show you better than I can fucking tell you.
Yeah, but I think the difference and why, especially with Magneto and Malcolm X, I don't think the comparison is true, is that Malcolm X was not a violent man. He just said we need to protect ourselves. He was not a violent. Excuse me. I'm actually from New York City, and I have family who was here during the Civil Rights movement. The Black Panther
I don't know enough for this.
The Black Panther group was not an
Malcolm X wasn't a Black Panther.
Malcolm X was not a violent man. The point was, he was saying we need to do malicious compliance. The Black Panther group was here to help the Black community. Malcolm X believed in protecting ourselves and saying, like, if they attack us, we're gonna fight. But he wasn't orchestrating terrorist attacks.
No, I never said that. I never said
I'm just
that.
saying. I'm just saying.
You saying he wasn't a violent man?
I'm saying violent man as in like he wasn't inciting violence.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
He never incited violence. He's like, if you try me, I'm gonna fight.
I'll give you
but
that.
But Magneto
they tried Magneto.
Magneto was doing shit unprompted.
They tried because that been happening.
Did they not try Magneto?
They tried Magneto ever since when he was in the Holocaust, and that shit was like, bro, they've been trying him since he was a kid.
Holocaust wasn't because he was a mutant; it was because people were being racist.
No, but remember they manipulated him then when they found out he. That's true.
The Martin Malcolm comparison is surface level. It's not.
It is
very more radical than the other.
Yeah,
I just think that people. Magneto is so charismatic and interesting and cool that we forget that this is a terrible guy. Yeah. I get it. He looks cool as fuck. Would I let him hit? Maybe. But like him dating Rogue is predatory. Him dating a student, a woman he raised, a woman that he has all these. It's wild. Like even in a comic book, that shit is wild.
Wait, Will, be quick.
Go ahead, dude.
I gotta ask Frankie now. Every time we discuss villains, I do need to know your level of hit meter now. Moving forward,
hit meter. Like, would I hit? Like, would I hit? Like, how many drinks? How much work needs to go?
Scale from 1 to 10. Where we at?
Magneto. Okay. Magneto, when he Friends of Humanity, Magneto in the intro of episode 2, immediately. Like, after we're going home, can hit. But like, I think it's a fit. I really like the outfit too. Like, I think he's like extra. Like, he's ripped. You know what I mean? So I picture. Who do I picture? Dang, there's no like attractive old man anymore.
Damn,
she's not lying though.
I can't think of like a buff. I guess LL.
J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Simmons?
You said buff, and I heard buff. I was like, well, J.K. Simmons buff now. Yeah.
Skinny. Nah.
No, that is buff as fuck when he got buff.
I guess John Cena. If you gave John Cena a white wig.
John Cena in a white wig would be hilarious.
Yeah,
I'd rather you go with The Rock. I'd rather you say The Rock.
The Rock? Nah. I love The Rock. Yeah, but The Rock looked too much like me for me to be like, I'd hit. Like, I feel like people think I love The Rock, like I'm in love with The Rock.
This was just to say you said attractive. You said attractive older men, and I was just throwing out other men.
Clint said he out.
And I came here to be the voice of reason when I saw you.
But you know what?
You be the most heinous on the podcast.
In that
but what you just said though proves something very well. Birds of a feather flock together. As you said, Magneto manipulates. Let's not act like Charles wasn't doing the same shit.
Oh, absolutely.
You created Phoenix happened because of you. Wolverine is still kind of fucked up in the head because of you. So that's why I'm just like, that's why I can still see the friendship side and the understanding of that. And then too, it's just like that's who you would leave that to because you know he'll protect that because they both built that together. So it's just like what? Yeah, because they messy. So it's just like I
did want to ask y'all, what did y'all think of Magneto's speech about the helmet? So for the most part, the general consensus is that he wears the helmet to more so protect himself from Xavier from taking control of him. But when his speech, he talked about it, and even Rogue called it out like, no, like you wear this because you are scared that Xavier's love for you don't want to hear that conscious of your best friend in your head telling you like you're wrong and shit like that. I thought that was a pretty dope perspective of that because it changed from a simplified reason why he got the helmet and it added more layers to that relationship. I thought that was a dope ass perspective.
It also shows that, like Frankie said, they toxic as fuck because he basically said the same thing, more poetic. It's like, yo, everybody was thinking like, oh, he's gonna treat him like how he does Juggernaut and subdue him. It's like, no, he just gonna probably fill your head with lovable moments that y'all had to make you go, you know what, guys?
But he would do that with Juggernaut too. Like they would knock his helmet off, and he'd be like, "Remember the shitty stuff you did?" Like that was what he was saying to Juggernaut. He's like, "Remember the terror you covered." Like in the Phoenix Saga. When they're on Myrrh, he's like,
"Oh yeah,"
he's like, "Remember how shitty you are?" Yeah, and that's
Like,
how he's talking to him.
So
And
to Clint's
so
point, they ain't no
the
different from each other.
he's messy.
Both of them toxic and petty.
They're petty. They're
You
petty.
just got to choose your toxic.
And that's
I
worse
do.
though, right? Because you're going to be thinking about that after. He's not. He could very well say, "Stop what you're doing. Stand right there." Right, and you're stuck. But instead, he's like, "Think about the chaos you've ensued. Think about the loved ones that are lost, or like, I don't know. Remember that time you farted in front of this girl you liked and she didn't call you back? Like that's the shit he bringing up to get you to stop fighting. It's
Exactly.
intense.
It is intense. So I want to know from y'all. So like I said, we're in the second episode now. Magneto is in control of everything. You know, it's his X-Men now, or as he referred to, my X-Men. I want to know, how do y'all feel about his approach in coming with, like, how he was acting in the episode, surrendering to the UN, going to trial and everything like that. To me, I want to know, do y'all feel like it is being genuine based off of the reasoning of why he's doing it, or is there a bigger agenda behind what he's doing?
Frank, you want to go first?
No, I'm actually considering it. Yeah.
So so right now I believe that it's 25% genuine, right? I feel like he's struggling to find his balance. And even with his speech that he did at the end, he tells him like, yo, like, bro, don't make me disappoint y'all, because I feel like, all right, you got the keys to this, and then the natural instinct is, hey, I'm about to fuck shit up. I got the squad now. I got the team. I won technically. You know what I'm saying? I got the X-Men. But like I said, not wearing the helmet now and not having to, he has more time to reflect on why he had the helmet, his relationship with Xavier, and a little bit of him like knows like, all right, I've been doing some nefarious shit and it hasn't been working. So maybe Xavier and my blend of how I run it can work. So I feel like I like how they're portraying it, because I feel like I can see like his inner struggle. And I think that like if he would have immediately turned over, that would have been weird. If he would have immediately just been straight negative, I feel like that wouldn't have been any growth. So I got it at like a 25%, because it is that his natural instinct and reaction to everything is fuck shit up. And so you see moments where he might slip a little bit, but you also see moments where he's restraining himself. And I'm excited to see how this goes throughout the rest of the season.
I think he on that bullshit. That's what I think. And I've always been told to never trust a white man with long white hair. They'll up to no good. The dude from Ghostbusters,
it's so hard to trust Magneto.
It is.
It's so hard.
You know what I mean?
And what gave it away for me is when he was talking about Storm. They was like, "You're the closest thing we have to a goddess," and he bowed, and I was like, "You on some bullshit? What the fuck are you up to? What are you up to? You doing something?" And which made me think, and I don't know, maybe I'm thinking too far into it, because you know we start jumping into what the scene might be. It's like when Storm got shot, lost her powers in the UN. Why do I feel like Magneto set that up?
No,
or is that just me?
Magneto
does it not feel like it?
Magneto
I feel like because
yeah.
Magneto, no matter what the case is, even when they was beefing and everything like that, it's just if Magneto or somebody of his group would have did it, or another mutant would have did it, I would understand. But Magneto aligning with human beings, I don't see that. It's one of those things like, look, mutant on mutant, we can fuck shit up, whatever like that, and we can do it, whatever like that. But when it comes down to the humans, hey, still fuck them. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that was one of the most personal moments that we saw with Magneto. Like he, at that point, it's like, hey, fuck this beef. They done took one of us out. No matter what side they're on, they done took one of us out. And now that is a bigger threat, because now I can see they got something that can take away our powers. Fuck that. And I feel like at that moment, that was that struggle that I was seeing, where I'm talking about like he really, everything in his power, wanted to wipe that whole shit down. He wanted to clear that whole motherfucking courtroom, and he did, because I felt like he just, like I said, that 25%, that struggle. Xavier's relationship with with Magneto at that moment won, and that's what I'm liking to see.
I'm seeing it a whole different way, because I don't trust him. To me, you just took out the most powerful thing that could stop you. And now there's nothing really stopping you with what you have at your disposal from what Charles gave you. Scott can't stop Magneto. Wolverine for damn show can't stop him. We don't know what the fuck going on with Jean. And the fact of it's like, yo, you're trying to have these humans not look at you in that light. And it just feels like there's something you're setting up in the background, because it's like, it still feels like you're stirring the pot. Like you're trying to get Cyclops to not be so on you, but also too, you fucking with Gambit and Rogue and trying to split that shit up. And we already know Gambit has a certain type of group he with, so I already can see Gambit go and talk to Wolverine, go and talk to Morph about what the fuck he saw, and it starts causing this rift between them. And I just like, maybe I'm looking a little too much into it, or just the big fact of I just don't trust Magneto at all.
I think that it's good insight and intuition to be like, I don't trust Magneto, but I will say definitely. He respects being a mutant so much that he wouldn't strip that away from anyone, no matter how big the threat. Like, and I don't think that he feels like Storm is stronger than him. Like, I don't think he thinks anyone is stronger than him. So I think that's number one. Like,
okay. I think the only two that he feared was Jean and Xavier.
Agreed. But I definitely, he would never be like, yo, shoot her. Like, he'd never be like, you need to take that out. I agree that there may be something sus, and even like, we may find out that talk he had, don't let me let you down, is still him. Like, I know if I act a fool or whatever, this is gonna happen this way. But I do think there's a world where like Magneto can not be radical and not use the X-Men as a weapon. So I'm excited to see like which direction they come. But I do agree that it could be either or. It could be that he is changing, or it could be that like he's dangerous and like he has a plan.
Hey, Will, you know how I see it? It's like this. You know how like, all right, it'd be rival gang members and they be beefing. But the one thing that they won't do, they won't snitch to the police. Like I said, it's like, I'm not bringing the police in. And that's how I feel like Magneto is. Like, look, I can beef with mutants and we can go at it and we can kill each other. But the one thing Magneto won't do is align with humans because of those implications. That's how I look at it.
Okay. I will keep that in mind with those two. And so I do want to get into our last segment of just like, of course, our hear me out segment. But before we get in there, I just got to give applause to Storm and how she was talking to them white people in the UN.
You want to live, or you want to be big dog?
Yeah, she was like, get that collar off of Magneto. You go this way. Who the hell do you think you are? Don't think, just act. I'm like,
yeah. Got her looking beastie, bro. Like, I loved every moment of it, man. Because, like, you know what? I wanted to talk about when Frankey brought it up about the first episode. Even when her intro, the fact that how the scene changed and they played that little theme and everything, like I was just like, yo, this is the most badass that we've seen Storm in so long. Like, oh my god, dog, they got Storm looking so beastie. I fucking love it.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Great.
So this is what I want to know from y'all. Me and Deuce always do this along with Clint and stuff like that. And Clint did have to roll because he had father duties and stuff like that. But I definitely want to know from Frankie's standpoint, because like we be having these conversations, but I know Frankie, like your mind got so much stuff. Like I just know like your takes would be dope on this. So they said that this is supposed to tie into the MCU somehow. It's supposed to be the show itself is going to tie into the MCU. And so I want to know from y'all, how do you see this tying into the MCU?
I think the universe that Monica Rambeau goes to would be that's the only way they could tie it, because like the way that the X-Men work, there's no way the MCU in its current state, they existed at the same time, they coexisted. Especially with the Inhumans, with that. There's no way Charles and them are letting Thanos pull up. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way that's happening. There's no way Thor is pulling up and they're not. You get what I'm saying? There's no way all this stuff is happening. So the only way I think they could tie is if they say this is another universe that doesn't include it, especially with the snap and like a lot of the storylines that they had with the snap about like discrimination, the scrolls. None of that makes sense if the mutants are also there.
Yeah.
So to Frankie's point, that's kind of where I was going. I hope it's not anything that leads up, like the series has that lingering over it. I hope it's literally like an Easter egg last moment episode, something dealing with Bishop and time travel, whether it is, because we know we already got a Cable in the MCU. But I do believe, like I said, that Monica Rambeau, where she's at, and that X-Men, because that Beast kind of still look like this X-Men Beast. I hope it's just something slight, something like very, very light, like whatever this season's overall arc and everything, we get a finale, we get it done and everything like that. And then it's literally like next mission, like Bishop is saying something or something has to happen where they do have to time travel, and they're not time traveling to our current state of the MCU, but wherever they time travel to, it is in that moment. Because I still believe that even the fact that where Beast was like at the end of Marvels, he was like, he wants to talk to you. I still got a lingering feeling that he wasn't talking about Charles. So it could be a moment of where wherever they go, it turns them into this live action moment and everything. And that moment that he's talking about is really Magneto wants to talk to you and whatever the case may be. And we're dealing with that universe. But I agree with Frankie. I don't want this X-Men tie-in to be where with the current Black Panther and every, like I want to let's get over there to that universe and explore that, because that's the only way it makes sense, because then it'll be too many loopholes and plot holes if you plug them in and then they go and then they meet fucking Tom Holland Spider-Man. You just be like, wait, what is going on here? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it has to be that other universe.
Okay, I got two major theories on this, and all of them wild as fuck. This one depends on if matter transfers throughout different dimensions. And I think we did catch that in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. My first one, Deadpool ends up in the 97 universe, causes an incursion that allows them to blend together, and then that's how we get where the Monica Rambeau version is, because he's jumping through all of this shit in Deadpool versus Wolverine. I mean, Deadpool and Wolverine. The other one still ties in with the Monica Rambeau thing, and it's just funny as fuck. I don't think it's ever gonna happen, but it's funny as fuck. I just want it to be that Deadpool wrote the 97 X-Men, and it's telling the story of the Monica Rambeau universe that she's in right now.
I would love that. Actually, I think that may be it. I think that would be it. So that it's loose, but it's not like I agree. I don't want the pressure of having to tie in the MCU be an issue. And with animation, that's not too much of an issue, right? Because the reason why there's a pressure with the MCU is that you're dealing with live people with lives. So like you can't just pull in like the X-Men, the animated series, just like Justice League. I love that. Anybody will show up, right? Any of the big three, every episode, anybody can come because it's a cartoon. So they can voice from wherever. And so
you inspired a thought. Keep going.
Yeah, but I just they don't have that. But either way, I think even tying it in, they still have the luxury of it being voice actors. And so they can put in whoever they want. They don't have to worry about them aging. They don't have to worry about all these other they don't have to worry about VFX getting up and stuff like that. It's so much cheaper. So I'm not too worried about it. But I really like it for what it is right now.
So I think, again, overthinking it, like I said, I just highlighted how the intro highlighted all the animated series and everything. And we know that What If is canon. That it could be simple. Like I said, if they're exploring and expanding this animated universe, which is a version or a universe that's within it, because we've seen it with Doctor Strange and Multiverse of the Madness. He was going through all those universes and he went through a couple of animated universes. It can be something as simple as that, where that tie-in is to any other characters that we've seen in the What If series that is also canon to the MCU. And it can be something where it is that where, again, same thing, time travel or whatever the case, or incursion happens, but whatever incursion happens or whatever event happens, It can be an MCU storyline that happens in the animated universe that is just like a quick, a quick three episode arc, whatever, like that, where it's still implications. It has things that go into the MCU, but it's nothing heavy, it's nothing crazy. It's not about transitioning over to live action or whatever the case may be. It's just dealing with whatever that is a transition in between the big main storyline of the MCU, but it's all within the animated verse.
Yeah, no, I agree with both of y'all. I don't think it should be too big of a thing, but I would like to see. I would say that my biggest one is just like Frankie said. I want Deadpool to have wrote X-Men 97.
Yeah,
Deadpool got to be involved.
I think that's cool.
We need that because then the great thing about a Deadpool character is that you can turn everything tongue in cheek and still make it canon. Like you can have fun with something simple as Deadpool, even just peeking into the MC universe. Like, ooh, I want that Wolverine, and then bringing that Wolverine into the Deadpool Wolverine.
You know what I just thought about? What if Deadpool what if they made it to a Deadpool wrote Logan's story? Because if you really notice, he looks over him all the time as if he's been watching him do this shit. And then we saw in Logan, the comic books are canon in there.
Oh, yeah.
And then we also
they're watching it.
Yeah, the Deadpool and Wolverine trailer, you see the Secret Wars comic book on the ground.
Yep, and then bro, I love the like button bubble. Keep on popping. That's how you know Will had a good point.
Yep, they're like, yep, it's a celebration now.
That's crazy, that. But yeah, man, I think, like I said, I think the overall sentiment is don't make it too heavy. Have fun with it.
Oh yeah, and then they've already been put in for season 2 now. Season 2 already been approved.
I didn't even know that.
It's already been written too.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I want to know this though, before we get out of here, who would you like to see that's non-X-Men make a cameo? So there are rumors that we will see Spider-Man in this first season make a cameo in X-Men.
I'm about tired about Spider-Man. Every chance they get, Spider-Man. Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I like the Fantastic Four. She-Hulk. I think
that was mine.
Good.
That was mine. I would love to see She-Hulk.
I want to see Silver, because people forget about that animated Silver Surfer series, and that was one of my favorite series.
Yeah.
And Silver Surfer's always been one of my favorite characters, and I think bringing a Silver Surfer in, just even in general, just like even if it's just an episode or just dealing with it. But yeah, I would love to see a Silver Surfer cameo.
I want Black Panther. I love to see Black Panther make a cameo. Just because I know like I actually, you know what? I don't mind which. No. You know what? No, I like his father to make a cameo because I know that's the one that fucked with Wolverine. That was the only because I think Wolverine and Captain America are the only two people that are allowed in Wakanda outside of Wakandans. I think that was the only two that gained his respect that they can be allowed entry into there. And I'd love to just see the relationship form if it hasn't already, but I love to see the relationship form between Black Panther and Wolverine to have that respect.
Frankie, keep me correct. During this comic book run, when Storm loses her powers, where does she go to kind of get back into touch with nature? Is it Wakanda or is it just I can't remember?
No, she run into Forge, and he's the one who gets it back to her.
Okay, never mind. Yeah.
So, and also too, Frankie, I don't know where it lies in the timeline, but do you think that in this now series, will we get a chance to see the version where Magneto pulls out all of the adamantium out of Wolverine?
Nah, not yet.
You don't think we'll see that?
Not yet. I don't see him doing that. That's a big diversion from what he's doing right now. He's an evil guy, but I don't know. And I think he may have some ill intent, but I don't think he's going off the rails like that. I think there are some really big hitters that they need to focus on instead. And I think if Magneto goes evil, it's going to be towards the end of the season, and we won't see it until next season. I think the focus is going to be the Friends of Humanity and kind of keeping it around there. You know what I mean? Yeah. And maybe even Sinister.
Yeah, I can see it.
I feel like it's definitive we getting Sinister.
Yeah, Sinister is probably gonna be here next episode.
I feel like
because now that I think
But
so.
you know what?
I think
it made me think too.
Yeah,
so that here's again, okay, just small, simple tie-ins to the MCU that I think that would work, that I wouldn't mind seeing, is right now Scarlet Witch is considered dead or lost or anything like that. Even if Magneto just start having small visions of like a Scarlet Witch, not necessarily implicating, but like when the animated series and everything is all over, if they continue his story arc and let's say this is leading up to the version of Magneto that we're going to get. So let's say when they do live action X-Men, it's not the Magneto versus X-Men, but we're getting this continuation of this Magneto in it. His storyline could be one is trying to save or trying to rekindle or, figure out what's going on with the Scarlet Witch and getting it back. I wouldn't mind that if it's a small implication, like not anything driving him, but as is wrapping up and we're figuring out what his next story arc is, it is that connection to a Scarlet Witch and realizing, oh shit, that's my child. And she's like, what the fuck's going on over there? I wouldn't mind that.
You talking about the live action version?
Well, yeah, I'm just saying because I'm thinking about like when this animation is over and then live action Scarlet Witch and what Magneto we're going to get in the actual live action X-Men. I wouldn't mind if it's a continuation of this version of Magneto.
But then just like to Frankie's point, then you have to cast that person. So now you have to cast someone that looked like that Magneto. And do we have someone right now that could be cast as him to fit that whole thing? We'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
Josh Brolin.
But yo,
he's doing everything.
Oh no, you know what? No, Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Jeffrey Dean Morgan could play a dope ass older Magneto.
Look at him.
Yeah. But we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. We've been here for over an hour. I want to thank my guests for coming through, talking about X-Men, talking about these first 2 episodes. We will definitely hop back on when we've watched a few more and stuff like that, probably closer to like either the season finale or after the season finale, just to talk about everything and whatnot. But you can always catch Deuce and Frankey giving their 2 cents about the show as it goes on and stuff. But before we get out of here, I always like my guests to be able to let y'all know where y'all can go support them and where to follow them. So we're going to start with Frankey. We're going to go to Deuces and we'll close this thing on out. Frankey, you're up.
Yeah, you can find me anywhere at Fantastic Frankey, FRANKEY. I'm on Discord too at Fanboy Fighter. So I got a channel. We're having fun.
Give me that link.
Yeah. I'll put it in the chat. But yeah, definitely check my stuff out. I'm going heavy on the X-Men. I grew up on it. I just did a full rewatch. It's an incredible show. So I'm excited.
Deuces?
Yeah. Yep. Shit. You can find me everywhere. Young_Deuces. Catch me on Watch Mojo. You know what I'm saying? You hear my voice, throw some Eagles in the chat. You know what I'm saying? I always like to see my people pull up in there because hey, they still be on me over there, man. Listen here. They do not like to hear. They do not like to hear the flair that I'm bringing to the list. Well, I ain't gonna say that. Not a lot of them. Like I said, there's still pockets of people who are very vocal in that chat. So I like to see the people defending my honor in there because you know what I'm saying, I'm not coming with the monotone voice, but I love it over there, man. Watch Mojo. They've been treating your boy right over there. And then catch me on Sway's Universe, man. We're actually going to be reviewing X-Men and just kind of bringing nerd content over there on Sway's Universe. So you see Geek Set over there, make sure you check us out.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And ladies and gentlemen, you already know me, Will Pharaoh. That's everything across all platforms. Make sure you check out Arcade Tokens. We will be having Geek Blasphemy coming back with episodes. Make sure you get ready to follow my Twitch as well. I've completely done something new with my Twitch, bringing you a whole bunch of different shows. So if you've already been a part of my Twitch, just get ready because it's going to be some very dope stuff that y'all see coming. And just remember to subscribe, like this video, comment below what you thought about X-Men, the good, the bad, and the what the fuck, if you have any bad on them and stuff. And always make sure you support my guests so they can keep giving us the fantastic content that they give us each and every single day. I've been your host, Will Pharaoh, and we will catch you next time. Peace.